a full day work session on April 11th, which is a Saturday. And there will be a public hearing on May 5th, and we may need to make some changes based on the community's input after that. And finally, the budget will be adopted on May 19, and the budget is going to be is going to be effective on July 1st. As you know, our fiscal year runs from July to June of the next year. So it's not by calendar year. It starts from the beginning, the middle of the year to the next middle of the year. With that, I'm going to hand it over to our city manager, Mr. Young, and he's the one who is working really, really, really hard with our finance director, Mr. Olive, in putting together this draft budget. So he's going to take it over from now.
Thank you, Mayor. Want to thank the residents who participated so far in our process. This year, we had a community survey that went out earlier over the summer. We have those results in for council and the community to look over. Mr. Olive will go over those in a minute. We also did our poll survey that kind of gives people an opportunity to answer and interact with us in a different way. We've also, this year, I've had individual meetings with the mayor and council members each to understand what their priorities are, and for us to understand kind of with each individual council member in the districts how we can make it all fit together well for presenting the budget, the proposed budget. With me tonight, we have City Clerk Yvette Allen, our Assistant City Manager Laura Reams, and our Director of Finance, Mr. Shannon Olive. We really want to be able to hear from our residents what their concerns are. We will, again, as I think you've stated already, have the proposed budget out on March the 20th, and then we'll have the council work session on April the 11th, which is usually about a half day at minimum day. And from then, after we do that, then we will also have a question and answer kind of session for the public to be able to ask questions based on the input that we got from council and the direction that we got from council during the budget work session. One of the things that's key is the way our charter is written. If the city manager proposes the budget to council, council makes those changes to the budget. If council is not able to come to a consensus amongst the council, then the city manager's proposed budget automatically becomes the adopted budget of the city. That hasn't happened, and I don't anticipate that will happen, but I just wanted to point that out. And I will turn it over to Mr. Olive to go through the survey results.
Mr. Olive.
Good evening, everyone, and I'll be brief tonight. I'm just going to kind of go over basically the same thing I did last time, because, you know, I think the design of this is to try to include everyone, and then so for a lot of the people that weren't able to attend last time, this will let them know what we kind of talked about last time and give them the ideas. It is presented a little bit differently this way, and so I'll just go through it. And what I did here is, this is the community satisfaction survey that was done by the communications department. And here are the top. It's the high priority, and then the very high priority that was listed that came through from their survey. First of all, it's crime prevention was the very high. And then under high, you'll see it's land and use, planning, zoning, and then economic development, police services, code enforcement, and then traffic enforcement. And that was the survey that the communications did. It was earlier in the year, and then more recently we did a ranking one with Polco, and it went out in December and closed at the end of January. And the top 5 ones that were chosen there were also public safety, and then housing, bicycle and pedestrian, parks and recreation, and then education support. The first one from communications had over 500 people that actually did this survey, and the POCO one had 198 people that actually filled that one out. And then looking at last year's budget, first of all, on our funding sources, you'll see in the pie chart here, the top 3 are, first of all, in the big blue section, which is 52% of the revenue that the city brings in, is from mainly property tax, and at $15.6 million is what was budgeted last year for it. The next one you will see is in the gold section, which is other taxes, which is made up of about 23 different smaller items, and that comes to about $6.8 million. And then the third of the top 3 is fines and fees of $3.9 million, and that's anything from the speed cameras to parking tickets, any kind of fines and fees like that. Next, on the expenditures, on your top 3 there, you'll see first of all is general government administration, which is the mayor and the council's budget, the city manager, the finance budget, all those departments that encompass the whole city, like human resources and that touch every department in the city, is your general government administration, which is $8.7 million. Second is public works, which is our biggest department, which does a lot of the work from refuge to snow removal to all the public work areas, which came in at $7.9 million. And then your services division, that came in at $6.1 million, and that's your top 3 in it. Where we are so far, we're still working on the budget. We're still changing, tweaking numbers, and trying to get it ready to present. We're getting close. Of course, it's going to be a tight budget, but that's the way it is whenever you're talking about governmental budgets. And but we're trying to get those numbers finalized, and we want to make sure we take into all these suggestions and comments that we get tonight and every other session that we get in. So over the next few weeks, we'll be considering all those suggestions and input that we get, and then try to finalize that budget and get it out by the 20th. And do I have any questions that I can answer?
Certainly. Thank you. Thank you so much for
Sure.
giving the high-level overview. Council members, do you have any questions? Councilor Mitchell? Thank you. This is the time to hear, right? Not to discuss. One quick question I have about the CIP budget, capital improvement project budget. That funding is a different bucket of money from the general funds you just showed in the pie chart, which is at nearly $30 million. How much was it? I can remember last year. Total CIP, can I remember top of your head? Sorry to put you on the spot. I should have asked before.
No, that's fine. And let me look real quick. And it is funded from other sources, but it also has an input from general fund. Does make a deposit into that, and I think that number. Let me flip back to it.
Should be a couple of $1 million.
Yeah, I think it was about $2.5 million, if I remember correctly, is what general fund actually put into that.
So that money is used to build other projects. For example, we have a dual field reconstruction project. That money comes from that bucket of money. But the general funds money is spent on city services, things like trash collection, public works, snow cleanup, and other services, and staff salaries.
The number one item that is project reserves, and what that encompasses is from the debt service that we took on for Duval Field, which was about $5 million is what that was. And then on top of that, general fund did transfer in $3 million for CIP, and that's the biggest part of it, is the debt service that we have from the bond issue that we made for Duval Field, and then what general fund put into it.
Thank you. So this $3 million is on top of $30 million in the general funds, correct?
Right.
It's not included. It's outside of $30 million.
Right, and there were some other funds that were included in that to come out to the total amount, but that's your biggest ones.
Okay.
Was that?
Thank you. Sorry.
No,
Sorry
you're-
again. And that's very helpful. Again, this evening is your night, so we'll invite you to come and speak. I see a couple of residents in the room. Please come over to the podium, state your name, and do your testimony. Anyone wants to speak? Come over. To the podium over there, the mic. Please state your name, and if you're a resident, proceed with your testimony.
Hello, my name is Joshua Jordan. I live in College Park, and I wish that there would be a little more shade in the Berwyn Park.
Good, thank you. So it looks like you'd like to see us planting more trees and other good things. Thank you so much for coming and speaking. Anyone else in the room wants to speak? I see a couple of... Please come over. Yes, please.
Hi.
Please state your name for the record.
Susan Hemrick, and I'm sorry if I didn't catch it earlier, but could you please tell me the total amount of the funding sources and the total amount of the expenditures? I saw the breakdown, but I didn't see the totals, and I can't add that fast.
In the meantime, if you have joined online, please raise your virtual hand. We'll allow you to speak. And we are joined by Councilmember Hernandez and Councilmember Mitchell. Thank you for joining.
Okay, for last year, for fiscal year 2026, total revenue is $29.857 million, and total expenditures is $25,681. And then you add in your contingencies, debt service, and the capital projects, the CIP, which comes out to a balanced budget of also $29.857 million.
And what is your projected total funding sources for fiscal year 27?
We have not completed that yet. That's what we're still that's what we're still working on.
Okay, and does the same apply to expenditures?
Yes, for 2027, we have not completed that yet. That's one reason we want to hear from you guys and hear what all we would like to put in for expenditures and take all that into consideration before that number is finalized. And we're still waiting on some numbers for revenue from like the state and different places to be able to finalize those also.
I see. It's kind of hard to understand how far we are from satisfaction from a zero line if we don't have those totals. But I understand where you're coming from. Thank you.
We'll do everything we can to make sure it is a balanced budget, though. So yeah.
That would be nice.
Oh yeah.
Appreciate
Yeah.
it. Thank you.
And there is no desire to raise any property taxes this year. So I think that's our residents care a lot about that. We have that a lot. Thank you. So I see a online Carol Magnus. Raise your hand. Let me allow you to speak. Okay, I think you're already in. Please go ahead, mute yourself. For the record, state your name.
Carol Magnus, and I am a resident of College Park. I would hope that the budget includes funding for some venue for the National Night Out. I know this past year the city decided to have one National Night Out at the College Park Woods facility, which I found was very unacceptable. My reasons being parking. You know, not everybody can park in the very small spaces that are there, especially if you're handicapped or have, you know, walking problems or anything like that. The other issue I had with the College Park, it was on grass, and the land was very uneven. I guess that might be partly due to the settling of the soil from filling in the swimming pool area and all, but it is not conducive to the senior population or those who have handicap. Several of the seniors that I talked to decided to just sit on the concrete area because they weren't willing to trust going on the uneven grass area. But again, I would like to see something in the budget to allow for a possibility of renting space. I know the last time they had one national night out for the entire city, it was at the College Park Aviation Museum. I found that that was very valuable. I know that since then the museum has their operations building, and the second floor has a large meeting room. These are all possibilities. There may be other venues. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Magnus. Is there anyone else online who wants to speak? I see a couple of residents have joined. Thank you for joining. Give one more minute. Mr. Young.
Mayor, if I could address a couple of things that Ms. Magnus actually mentioned. The location of the National Night Out, we are anticipating that Duval Field will actually be complete
By then.
by the time we do the National Night Out,
Wow.
and it is included in the public services budget.
Thank you. Appreciate that. It will be a lot better than in the previous years because Duval Field will look very nice. Thank you. Seeing no other virtual hands or no one in the room wants to speak. Actually, Ms. Belly, Alexa Belly, let me allow you to speak. Okay. Please unmute yourself, state your name for the record, and proceed with the testimony.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
We can hear you. Thank you. Thanks for joining.
Hi. Yeah, thank you so much for having this session. Alexa Bailey, resident of D3 in College Park, and I apologize, I had hoped to be there in person. So just wanted to share a couple of thoughts about the budget in terms of things that are priorities to me, and I did send this by email as well. 4 priorities that I could think of at this point. One of them is really appreciating that the city's been investing in acquiring new green space and public space, and so just wanted to highlight that as our region becomes increasingly urbanized, open space and public space becomes increasingly valuable, and so I just urge the city to continue to dedicate funds for this purpose going forward to support current and future residents. Second, funds to help maintain and open and improve green spaces. So it's clear that residents and the city value open spaces and the many benefits that they provide. So we've been converting kind of more sterile open space like grass to more natural landscapes like wildflower and pollinator gardens and native shrubs and all. And this often involves a larger effort for landscape maintenance because weeding and things like that are kind of more labor intensive than mowing. Building like a wooden overlook's more intensive, more kind of takes more effort than just pouring concrete path. So hoping that the city can support this positive shift in the composition of city lands by investing resources in green space management. It might be that some kind of dedicated staff time would be warranted. Third, volunteer activities. So having served on a couple of in a range of capacities, including on city committees, but also other things. It seems like volunteering, it just has so many benefits. It really connects neighbors, supports important activities and also builds community. So a suggestion would be to have some dedicated staff time for volunteer coordination. Again, maybe a part-time position or something like that. I think that would dovetail nicely with a priority for the city of just engaging residents in more city activities, including things like voting, but so many others. And having, participated or seen activities by like the Board of Election Supervisors or CBE, TLB, B-City, events committees. These are really prime examples of groups that I think could benefit from a stronger volunteer force. And it's also the case that residents who enjoy volunteering often are happy to engage on multiple topics. So coordinated volunteer activities could help build synergy and increase awareness. And then fourth and last, would urge the city to invest in voter education and support for our elections. So elections are among the most important activities of our city. So I think the city should invest funds for improving our election process, including voter education and turnout, voter engagement, and candidate forums. And as one of those tools, I'd love to see the city invest in transition to adopting ranked choice voting because of its many benefits for voters as well as candidates. So I think that's money well spent. So those are my 4 things. Thank you so much for having this forum, and thanks for all you do.
Thank you so much for sharing those ideas. Those are all good ideas. Thank you. Is there anyone else? Mr. Young, do you want to respond to any of the requests?
No, thank you, Ms. Bailey, for your comments. We are looking at our open space issues. They're all capital improvement projects. We have a number of them. Roanoke, we also just purchased a couple in the Berwyn neighborhood off of Rhode Island Avenue. And we also have one on Pierce Avenue in Lakeland. And so we've got a number of the projects. What we're going to have to do is figure out an actual capital improvement plan for both the build-out and ongoing maintenance for those projects. Thank you.
And as always, I think we have seen in the past budgets, we always allocate some money on property acquisition. Am I correct?
We have. We really need to. The price of real estate has gone up. I believe, about 3 or 4 years ago, our fund was about $5 million. We've had to drop it down after we've made a number of acquisitions. There's just a little bit over $2 million. It'll be up to the council on how we allocate our resources moving forward for property acquisitions, but I think it is something that we really need to be strategic about so that we can, when opportunities come about, we can act. And actually, because the council had placed money in the property acquisition fund, when the opportunity struck for us to get a hold of some of these properties for the first time in years, we were able to act. And so I think we need to continue to do that and look strategically at how we can utilize the funding that we have available to us.
Thank you, and those properties will be the purpose of acquiring those properties is to turn them into a public use so that the community can use them. All right. I do not see any virtual hands. Just to let you know that there is still opportunity to give your input. You can always email to the mayor and council, and that also goes to staff. And the email address is CPMC College Park Mayor and Council at collegeparkmd.gov, CPMC at collegeparkmd.gov. And you can submit your requests and concerns, and we'll go from there. Again, the budget is not out there, and it is being prepared. So your input is important. And once the budget goes out, there will be also opportunity to engage some of the council members and also especially the staff. They will be taking the time to go into the community to present and discuss the budget and take questions. And thank you, Mr. Young and Mr. Olive, for taking the time, and others as well. I have seen there are already 2 meetings scheduled. One is at the Barwin District Civic Association, BDCA will be hosting a budget meeting. And also, I believe North College Park Civic Association and CPCA will be hosting I believe in early May. So there is still opportunity. So if there isn't anyone wants to speak, I want to declare that the public hearing has been held. And thank you all for coming tonight, and appreciate your engagement. And thank you, staff. Good night.